welcome back here, everyone. My name is Andrew Hernandez, and today we'll be talking about a couple playoff matches that will be happening Friday night, Saturday afternoon, and we're going to kick things kicked off with Class 2A, and that's the Newman Comets taking on the El Paso Gridley Titans. So here we go. So El Paso Gridley. So what I've been reading from the Peoria Journal Star, I read it I think earlier this morning when I woke up, that the Titans have played lights out on the defense side for El Paso Gridley. So basically for the Comets, this is going to be a really good opponent for them to play as they go into the second round of the 2A bracket. The last meeting between El Paso Gridley and Newman, Comets won in the 2A second round that year, 35-0 in a shutout as well. The Comets, we talked about them earlier this year, a lot of big expectations, but they were kind of, basically what they were, kind of having the first 1A to 2A kind of flip-flopping between 1A and 2A, but, basically Newman, they're one of my picks, is, going in to this game, we're going to go against a really good El Paso Gridley defense, what it looks like, what I've read. So it's either you got to air it out or either run the ball or pound the ball, run the ball, or whatever. So I think for Newman, going against this, El Paso Gridley defense is gonna be tough. And I know a lot of people have El Paso Gridley probably win this one, but my pick, I think for this one, I'm going to go with, I like underdog stories, basically. I like the underdog, underdog stories, basically. So my pick, I have to go with Newman. I think they're an underdog. They're kind of like the underdog as well in the playoffs in 2A, basically, on the north side as well. I know El Paso Gridley, Farmington, Rock Ridge are probably the favorites, but I have to go with the Comets. I like an underdog story. I like an underdog story as well. And next up, we go to the 3A side, and that is Byron and Durham-Pecatonica. The Rivermen and the Tigers facing off for the second time this year. This is their third meeting in the postseason this year. Third time, I believe, overall they met in the postseason. Byron defeated Dupec the last two meetings in the postseason. They met in 2019 in the second round and also in 2023 in the quarterfinals when Byron went on to win a state title. And also the game versus El Paso Gridley and Newman will take place 5 o'clock at El Paso Gridley on Saturday. So the winner of this matchup, I forgot to mention, will take on Farmington or Aurora Christian in the quarterfinals next weekend as well. So next up is the Byron Durham-Pecatonica, Dupec and Byron. So what I left off was this is the third meeting between the two. They'll play Saturday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So Dupec, from their game versus Johnsburg, their defense stepped up. Their defense kind of stepped it up in that game as well versus Johnsburg. They defeated Johnsburg 18-13 was the final score. Byron defeated Oregon 63-15 in Byron last week on Halloween. So basically this game is probably going to be, I got to say Byron's going to win this one. But, Byron going into this postseason, they look like a team that could win it all. Basically what I'm saying, they look like a team that could win it all. So they got a lot of weapons. Andrew Talbert, he could run the ball, pass the ball. Even, he did play punt returner in week 1 versus Rock Falls in their road opener. and also play defensive back as well. They got a lot of good runners. Landon Bombane as well. I forgot to mention him. Katie Considine as well. A lot of good backs. Dawson Criddle. A lot of good running backs and all that for Byron. And basically, they got a lot of guys that are really good. And then also for Byron, they also have another safety, a free safety that's also getting Division I looks, and that is J.J. Empson, a junior. So he's might be one of their next prospects to come out of Byron out of free safety. So he did go to a couple visits. He visited NIU at Northern Illinois University back on October 26th versus Kent State, and also last weekend went down to Champaign to visit Illinois for the their game versus Rutgers. So those are the only two schools that I believe out of the Division I level that he visited. Already. I don't know if he has any visits still coming up this season, as the college football season right now is kind of winding down and also getting into the college playoffs right now. I know this week they're starting their college football, I think, rankings or rankings show basically about the college football playoffs as well. Because I know the college football world, they're kind of getting into the playoffs, kind of starting to get into it as well. And we'll see if for Byron this game, I'm gonna go with Byron. I think they're gonna win this one over Dupac as well. The winner will take on Kankakee, McNora, or Icy Catholic Prep. They play on Friday. They play tomorrow night. I don't know why I said Friday, but they'll play tomorrow night at 7 o'clock at Icy Catholic in Elmhurst up there. So kickoff's at 7. So the kickoff between Dupac and Byron will be Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock as well. And moving on to Class 4A, we're going to go to one of the schools from the BNC that's still in, and that is the Dixon Dukes and the Coal City Coalers. Dixon and Coal City are meeting for the second year in a row. The last meeting, Coal City won 20-13 last year in the quarterfinals in Coal City. So for Coal City, last week kind of played like a state contending team last week as well versus Sterling. They defeated Sterling 49-7 in the first round. One of their key players was Logan Natty Shot. So Natty Shot, from the highlights that I watched earlier, he had 4 rushing TDs. He basically was like, he kind of had a really good game. He had a really good game. So for this game for Dixon, this is going to be a really good opponent for them. Really good opponent, I think that's going to push them if they want to do really good. Like if they want to be like a state contending team, I should say, really good in a state contending team. This is a team that I think that's going to give the Dukes a good test, or maybe even other teams as well, because you have Montini coming in or Pure Notre Dame, so that's the winner who they'll face between Pure Notre Dame or Montini. That game will take place on Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock in Peoria, between the Broncos and the Fighting Irish as well. So basically, for the postseason, it's been a quiet run for Notre Dame. Right now, their football team right now will be playing the second round. I know tonight, before I did this, when I got home, I watched a bit of their volleyball team for a bit, playing the 2A Riverdale sectional. So they finished in the Sweet 16 as they lost to Riverdale in the 2A Riverdale sectional as well. So this matchup between Dixon and Coal City, it can go either way. I think it's going to be a defensive battle or even an offensive battle, because I think Natty Shot and Carnegie they're going to run a lot for a lot of yards, and I think both have over 4,000 yards. Both have maybe over 4,000 yards total. I believe Carnegie has over 2,000 yards, I believe, this season. Or maybe, I don't know yet, but I think this matchup for Dixon is a good opponent. In my prediction, I predict this game could be a close game. But I can't. But I don't know who to pick the winner. But I think it's going to be a close one between Dixon and Coal City, and I think it's going to be a fun one. I'll be at that game tomorrow, AC Bowders Field, between the Dukes and the Kohlers, and I think it's going to be a fun one. Next up, we're going to talk about the 7A matchup, and that is going to be the Moline Maroons out of the Western Big Six. So there's two left in the Western Big Six, and that is Geneseo and Moline. Geneseo, they're on the road against Macomb this weekend, but this matchup between Moline and La Glenbar North will take place Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock. So I was watching a bit on the Maroons, earlier today before I kind of decided to do this. So Moline, they're red hot right now in the Western Big Six. So they won the Western Big Six title. They finished 8-1. They beat a really good Andrew team last week out of the Southwest Valley. So it's a lot of guys from Moline, from what some of the guys from the Quad City Sports Net said, have really stepped up on the defensive side of the ball. So basically, is the total effort mentality they kind of preach at Moline. So it's not just in football, but in all sports. They kind of use that mentality a lot, the total effort mentality. And they've had a lot of guys stepped up, and a lot of guys stepped up when they have some of their main guys, banged up. It's good to see that for Moline. And I know for a good matchup. So basically, Moline, for them, tomorrow, the big question was this year, are they going to get over the hump of either? So it's been a kind of a little bit of a struggle, I believe, since Morrissey has taken over, kind of getting through that second round of the postseason. So Moline, if you're Moline fan in the Western Big Six, you either run to a team from the south part of the state in Illinois or down by Quincy, or you run into a team out by the western suburbs of Chicago, like Yorkville, Batavia, St. Charles North, some other schools, Wheaton North, or whoever it is out of the western portion, that suburbs out by Chicago, Aurora, Yorkville, that region. There's always been a team that I think Moline has ran into. I know one year they lost a overtime thriller to Yorkville one year, and I think for Moline is red hot, and I'm gonna go with the Maroons because I think with the hot streak they're on, I think that could help them get through the second round. Hopefully, win the second round as well. So I think for the playoffs this week, hopefully we have some good games this week. So here are some of the picks already in Class 1A. On the north side of the bracket from the Northwest Upstate Illini Conference, Stockton, I think they're going to win over Haysworth on Saturday. Alena Winslow, they're playing on Saturday, Alena versus Gibson Melvin Sibley. They'll either take on Maxwell D Creek or Anawan Wethersfield in the quarters. In 2A, Rock Ridge taking on Downs Tri-Valley. Whoever wins that game Saturday, Tri-Valley will take on either Seneca or Willington. And then Newman and El Paso Gridley, the winner of that will take on Farmington or Aurora Christian in the quarters. In Class 3A, Richmond Burton playing Aurora Central Catholic. The winner of that will take on either Bloomington Central Catholic or Monmouth Roseville. And Byron and Durant Pecatonica playing in the 3A bracket. The winner of that will take on Kankakee McNorica or Elmhurst IC Catholic in the quarterfinals. And then in Class 4A, Dixon playing Coal City. The winner of that matchup will take on either Lombard Martini or PR Notre Dame in the quarterfinals. And then Macomb and Geneseo and also Morris and Metamora will be playing also on Saturday. The winner of that will either take on each other in the quarterfinals next weekend. And then Class 5A, Belvedere North and Maple Park Canelan. Canelan and Belvedere North will play either Chicago St. Patrick or Cary Grove in the quarterfinals. If either one of them win on Friday night. And in Class 6A, Harlem taking on Burlington Central. The winner of that will take on Roaring Meadows or Oak Park Fenwick. And then in Class 7A, we got Glensbard East and Batavia also playing. And then Moline taking on Glensbard North. The winner of that matchup will play each other in the quarterfinals. And then Downers Grove North and Glensbard West will play each other, and the winner of that will take on New Long's Winkley West or Chicago Kenwood. And then St. Charles North will take on Carmel, and the winner of that will take on Alcan Jacobs or Chicago Brother Rice in the Class 7A bracket. So some of those matches are from the all around Northern Illinois. So for the playoff IHSA playoffs, so this is the second round. So those are all the matchups I did call out a bit. So basically, the winner of those matchups will advance to the quarters. We'll play in the quarterfinals or whoever. And we wish good luck to all the teams that are playing on Friday night, Saturday afternoon, Saturday night. We'd like to wish everyone good luck and also have fun on the gridiron to all the football players out there. Thank you and have a great night.